Hey guys, before we get into today's video, I just wanted to thank you for 900 subscribers. We're like 80 subscribers away from being YouTube partners, so if you're enjoying the content, feel free to subscribe, enjoy the video. Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. And today we're going to be covering a topic that's probably been covered many times in the past, but it's a new year and it's a new season, so I figured I would give my shot at a Fort of the Damned tutorial. So today, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be showing you the easiest way to start one and the easiest way to complete it, even if you are a solo. I am joined by my friend Nipsey today. His channel will be linked below. However, this is perfectly feasible to do on your own. So let's go ahead and get started. And first things first is we have to vote on a Skull Stash voyage, which will be under Voyages, Athena's Fortune. You want to go to Legendary Search. And you are going to dive to location because it just makes it a lot quicker. Okay, let's sail into the water. Now, as far as weapon choice goes for these, I would recommend just using a Cutlass and Eye of Reach, because for the keg skeletons, you want to be able to shoot them accurately. And for the rest of the skeletons, one sword lunge will actually take them all out. So I will see you guys when we get to the Skull Voyage. Now, if you've never done one of these voyages before, it'll spit you out at an island that is eligible for this voyage. If we go to our quest, you can see a little compass here, and it's kind of like Jack Sparrow's compass. It points towards what you want most. Okay, and if we pull out our compass, is it going to start spinning? And it is right here. And it wasn't actually in that cave. For some reason, it appeared it was, but I think it was actually on top there. So Nipsey went ahead and dug it up for us. And that's pretty much it. And as you pull into the fort here, it is actually better to park on the side we're going to park to, just because the route from the vault with the treasure is the shortest distance here, which is just kind of off to the side. As you can see, we're kind of on, like, if you're facing the fort, head on the right-hand section near the pegs, because we are actually going to drop the treasure right onto that rock there. So now we're going to grab our skull, and we're going to make our way up to the top of the fort. Now, even though we are on the fort with the skull, we still have a step we have to do before we put the skull in. And it actually involves finding all the kegs on the island. So before we start with the skull, we actually want to do something known as a keg wall. And if you're just coming onto the fort with the dock right there, you want to come over to this rock right here. And you're going to find every keg on the island and start putting them on this exact spot. You can kind of like jump up and put ones a little higher, because the end goal is to be able to snipe that wall from back here. So if you have some a little higher, it might be easier to hit if someone walks in front. And this is in order to take a bunch of damage down from the final boss. And the reason we're putting them in the wall there as opposed to just putting them on the ground is because when you put them in the wall here, you can't take them back out. They're stuck here, but they still work as kegs, so somebody can't swim over to the island, grab one, and come blow your boat out. And a lot of people do this higher up wall right here. However, I like this one more because if you accidentally blow kegs up top during the skeleton waves, they won't affect your keg wall if it's all the way down here. So before you start the fort, you want to just make sure you've grabbed every single keg, which can hide from anywhere in like the middle parts of these towers to the very top of the fort. Just make sure you have every keg. It should be about 6 to 12. And now that we have all the kegs on the island and we're pretty sure of it, we've checked almost every spot they could be, and your wall looks something like this, we are good to start. Okay, and now we're ready for pretty much the final step for starting it, which is taking the Skull of Destiny here to each of the lanterns around the building. And as you can see, when you hold it out, it's going to prompt you to set the lantern flame. And you're going to match the color of the skull to every single color of the lantern, making your way around the room, making sure you light every single lantern. And when you get to the final one, you are going to bring the skull over to the final spot in the middle of the room and pop the skull on. And now you have started a Fort of the Damned. And each of these skeletons are invincible until you shine them with light, and which light you have to use is made obvious by the hands coming out of the grate by each of these statues. So for this wave, we have to get the white light. Nipsey's already gone ahead and done it for us. And after shining that light on them, you will be able to kill the skeletons now. So this is the same for every single wave. It's always only one color. So as we finish that, the hands are going away. And on this next wave, we are going to use green. And as we hold it up, we'll see they all start losing that glowing light around them. And now we can take our sword out and probably sword lunge through quite a few. And so I'm just going to make my way through this until we get to one of the special waves. Now it is important that while you are doing these, you're keeping a lookout off the edge of the islands for boats. Now we have come across one of our special waves, and it's special because there are skeletons that have kegs. As you can see, Nipsey accidentally didn't get far enough away, but that's why we put the keg wall lower down like we did, so that even though those kegs did blow up, our keg wall is still perfectly fine and didn't get triggered. But generally on the keg rounds like this, you want to have your sniper out so that you can shoot the feet of the skeletons holding the kegs, so that you can add those kegs to your keg wall. We're doing a little bit of a bad job at it, but in general, as long as one of you guys is focusing on leading the skeletons away, you should be able to get quite a few kegs from those rounds alone. So now we're going to have another try on this one, hopefully, and we just barely missed that skeleton. It sometimes helps if you work your way through the other waves of skeletons before, so that there's more of a clear path when you're trying to kill the actual kegs themselves. So as we can see, it's lit up again, so we're just going to have to run by him, which actually gives you an easy chance most of the time to shoot his legs. But now he's dropped the keg, and we can go ahead and add this to our keg wall. I recommend doing this very carefully, because if a skeleton follows you down there and shoots, you could lose the entire thing. So now we are on to another specialty round, and this specialty round is with captains. So you're just going to have to make your way through and kill 3 separate skeleton captains if you're on sloop, and the bigger the boat you are, the more captains will actually spawn. And generally just sword swiping these guys as they're trying to eat a banana does a really good job at keeping them in a corner. And every couple rounds, like I said before, it is important to just run around and look off the edges of the island to make sure nobody's coming in, because this is probably the event, or the event in the game that draws the most attention. Now, there is one very important round that should be coming up soon here, where it's going to be very important to be accurate. And this is the round right here that it is important to be accurate on for those special looking kegs right there, because those are the strongest kegs in the game, so using those on the boss is incredibly important. Generally, this wave only happens when you're incredibly close to the boss, so if you see these dropping, then you're very close to being done. In fact, I believe these captains should be our final wave. And just like that, you are on the boss wave when you hear this music playing, and he's going to rise out of the ground, and you want to make sure he is attracted to you so you can bring him down the correct way, which is this exact path that we are both running down right now. So you want to drop down onto these platforms, and then you want to come back just about this far so that you can still see your wall right there, but the skeletons aren't going to get to you just yet. So as he comes down, we're going to wait for him to pass right in front of the wall, and just like that, the fort is done. It is really that quick and easy. We had enough kegs there just from what spawned on the island to take the boss out completely. And the very nice thing about this fort being, if you want to do it multiple times, it is easily stackable. And in fact, it's made easier on the next attempts that happen, because you get a bunch of kegs that spawn inside the vault here that you can use on your keg wall for the next boss, as well as tridents that you can use on the skeleton captains. So if you do want to stack the events, just make sure you put everything on this barrel right here. Or if you are happy with just taking your one, you're going to run the exact route I'm running right now, which is coming through these gates, and then because we parked on that side of the island, you can just drop it off onto the rock down below, and it's very nice and easy to harpoon. And that is it for today's video. If that helped you guys out at all, let me know with a like, comment, subscribe, or even all 3 down below. If you're new to Sea of Thieves, welcome to the game and welcome to my channel. I post lots of beginner-friendly Sea of Thieves content, so if that interests you, definitely stick around. As always, we'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace!